Barrett
and Christina.
and you're tuning in to Seat for Every Ass. And we're back in action.
Back it up. Back it up.
Cheers.
Whoa, be careful of that one.
We're going to talk about our favorite topic today, clients. No, and I mean that.
You guys.
Wait, I mean that though in the best though. Like we
We
do
love.
we love our clients. Love them. It's like a love-hate relationship, but it's okay because don't you have that with your husband? It's like a love-hate relationship. We have it with our best friends, a love-hate relationship. When you love someone, you hate them too.
Yes, you do. You hate him for all those reasons.
No, but I want to start this off by saying we're going to get real. We're going to get candid about current situations and topics and all the things that we're kind of going through right now at the firm. With that said, though, again, we love everyone. We love our clients. So I don't want anyone taking this in a negative way.
That's in full disclosure.
Full disclosure.
Everybody.
Ron, our lawyer, can you write it up in the description?
Who's also our client.
Yeah.
2 for 1.
Anyway.
Love you, Ron.
Love. So starting off, I would say that, our clientele base has really grown. Like we just spoke about it in our last episode that now we really do focus on full homes. And when you're really working on a project like that, I mean, that's like a 2-year at least.
Plus.
At least. So you really are getting to know them. And unfortunately in this industry, things do go wrong. We're not saving lives. This is not like catastrophic. No one is dying here, but things do go wrong and a lot of money is spent. And clients and us as well get upset. And it's hard to sometimes not take things personally. I mean, it really is because we put so much of our heart and our soul into running the business and also managing clients' expectations. And sometimes, we do make mistakes. We're human. Or sometimes it's just not the outcome that the client wants, even if you give it the best and you work on it until you're basically dead in the ground. Ultimately, you just can't ever make that person happy.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's one of the hardest things is people look to us to be like designer, business owner, therapist, friend, problem solver. And we really try to be everything. But at the end of the day, it's hard.
It's all because it is so psychological. It's the most intimate part that's tangible in someone's life, right?
Yeah.
Their home. Heart is in the home, correct? So it's like we are now a part of that stranger's house and they have to be, trusting that we're going to be able to do what we need to do blindsidedly almost.
Yeah.
And in an efficient way. And I feel like that sometimes.
And in a budget.
And in the budget, but that's all up front. So what you see is what you get. Everything is itemized. I mean, once a client pays for the product, they know what they're going to get. They're going to get the timeline. They're going to understand. But when it all comes together, that's when they really have to have the trust in us that we are going to execute it in the best, most efficient,
Perfect.
process for the ultimate,
End all be all.
yeah, it's just like from start to finish, you guys, the clients are going to get exactly what we promise.
Yeah. Which I think that's also something that's really hard because you want to promise them everything. And sometimes you have to take a step back and realize that you really can't promise everything. And, as we continue to grow and maybe, in that bit of growth that we're in right now, we're still taking on projects where it is an ideal client, but maybe the budgetary constraints are not ideal, given whatever's going on in the world or with what's going on with the client at the time and all those things. And we really do want to promise them everything and give them what they ultimately deserve to have. But at the same time, we're not magicians. And I think, we've talked about managing budgets before, but I think there's a whole other aspect to budgets that's really difficult for us as designers is a lot of the time the client, even right now, we have clients that come to us and they say, okay, so how much is this project going to cost? Obviously we understand how much materials are going to be and what furnishings are going to be. But when it comes to what a contractor, a builder is going to cost, we really can't foresee that, even though we can have somewhat of an estimate in our mind.
Based on other projects that have happened in the past.
But that's the problem. It's in the past. And
all the contractors are changing. All the tariffs right now we're dealing with.
and
Yes and no. And it's just like, what is it? Like, and basically, all these manufacturers are scared to lose money. So they're kind of like making everything even higher.
But scopes are also changing. A client will come to us and they want one thing. Once they dive into the project, they want another thing. All of those things add up. So it is really difficult, I think, as a designer to estimate the budget of construction. And I also think that it's really not great to estimate that without providing a design to the contractor. So you guys out there, whether you're a client listening, a potential client listening, or a designer, the best way to approach that situation is to hire your designer and design the package, right? Design what we're trying to come up with, give it to the contractor. And then from there, as the client, you have to make compromises. You have to look at the overall package and say, okay, this is what I want. This is my budget. I understand that my budget might not get me what I want. So it's our job then to tailor the design to try to keep it as to that design as possible, but within your budget. We're not magicians.
But we're insane. I do have to say, we are insanely good at doing that. That's our expertise. We can literally do work within someone's budget, but then the client doesn't want
to work within that.
They don't want to work. Like,
I think I think why we're now touching on this a lot is because recently, over the past 2 years, our scopes have evolved so much to being so full scale, right? And we are dealing with really high budgets. Even our lowest budgets are high budgets. We're not talking small numbers anymore. And so I think to a client, they look at this number and they think, wow, I'm spending this amount and I can't get this. I understand that. I get their frustration. And I get our frustration on the other end where we're like, but this is what it costs nowadays. I mean, even houses, even around our town where we live, houses that are legit teardowns are millions of dollars, where
so
years ago they were under $1 million. Now everything has gone up so much. So it's really hard. I think it's gotten really hard to manage expectations when it comes to budgets, and then have clients who are spending so much money not want to make compromises. It's just tough, and it puts you in a really tough position. And it's not, as a designer, us being dishonest. I mean, we're trying to appease them, and we're trying to also take reality and put the two together, right?
Right. And then we're constantly, getting bids after bids after bids after bids, and we're kind of seeing the same numbers.
Which is telling you something.
It's telling you something, but also it's like, we just truly don't like to waste these contractors' times. They're not getting the job.
Yeah.
Because we end up going back to the original.
And they get so annoyed.
They get annoyed, and then guess what? Next project, they don't want to give us a bid.
I know.
And then they take months to possibly give us the bid, and they're like, well, this is the last time, or we're not making any changes. This is what it is. And it's like, we're getting it from both ways. Like, we're getting it from the contractors. We're getting it from the clients. They're like, why can't you do this? Why can't we get 1 million bids? And it's like, once again, we're stuck in the middle, which totally fine with. It's just a matter of reality.
And those bids take a long time.
They do take
it's a lot of work for them, because they're going to multiple different subs of their own to get those bids. And then there we are, like, hounding them to, like, lower their costs constantly.
Yeah, and then we hound them. And guess what?
They hate us.
They hate us. And they don't get the job.
I know.
Because either that portion is taken away from the scope, or they found someone on their own that's a family friend or something like that. And that's always never good. That is never a good choice.
So segueing into that, when you have a client which we have had and have, when you have these clients that don't really value your time, your expertise, your library, and they go out and they price shop, and they find things and they say, well, I can get it for this though, so why should I get it through you? it brings that all up. Like it's really not fair, whether it's to the contractor or to your design firm who's working continuously on your project night and day, has an entire team behind it. There's so many things that go into what we make on a project. And again, this is a job. We should be making money. This is not a charity. We're not doing this for free. We're literally working our asses off, literally.
And we have an insane, like, it is a job. We have, obviously, every job, every business has overhead.
Yep.
And obviously, we are willing to, like, we're willing to work for that. Like, to get that.
And it's not even willing. We do. We do work for it. But when we look at a margin on a project, not only are you charging a fee for your design, but then you do make markups. Like, there are markups and there's reason for markups. And at our firm, how we do our markups is we're not just making a markup because it's our connection with this vendor and we brought this to you. We actually make that markup to pay for our project management, which at other firms, they might do project management hourly or a set rate, whatever it is. Here, we're purely saying to our client, if you buy this through us, we hold the liability to it. We're managing this. Like, this is our problem now. So yeah, you might be able to go and buy, let's say, that light fixture at a vendor and get it for, a little bit less than what we're charging you. But who's managing that? Are you managing that? Because management, I think, is one of the most expensive and also one of the most priceless things that you can have in a project.
1,000%.
You need management, and I don't think that a lot of people understand the amount of management that goes into even one light fixture. It really, it's a lot.
A towel hook.
Yeah. We're not talking about just buying things from, Amazon and having them shipped and sent and being able to be returned. Like, most of these companies don't even allow returns. And a lot of times these things come in damaged, or, it could be the wrong finish. And it's not because of us. It's because, unfortunately, the manufacturer made a problem. Like, I mean, look at even my mom's party. I had everything planned perfectly. And yet 7:00, the chef is not there. And it was his fault. He was the one that had the dates wrong, even though we confirmed and everything with him. It doesn't even matter, but the management is the one that then handles that and has to take care of that. And the client doesn't want to do that. So that's what you're paying for. And when you don't understand the amount of work that goes into this, because we're not just designers. We don't just pick things.
I know.
I wish.
I know. Wish. I was thinking that. I didn't want to say it out loud, but like, Bear and I.
That would be so easy.
Quick. It's like, if we didn't need a team, here.
No, we need the team
done.
because of
we
all
do. It's a full service, and it's like
full service.
And we're not like complaining here. It's just like educating the client to let them know like everything that's involved, and every single dollar is going to be accounted for what they're spending, and in the end, they're going to be insanely happy. We're not worried about the designs. We're just worried about, like, not worried, but we're taking care of the process.
Yeah. No, 100%.
They don't know 90% of the things that it's happening.
So
they don't.
No, they don't. And we like to keep it that way because there's no reason that they need to, just like your husband doesn't always need to know when you go shopping. So
you have that extra card in your back
or
pocket.
when you go get your Botox. So anyways, as of today, we have some incredible projects that we're working on. And with that said, there is an entire process to how that project or projects needs to be worked on. And we have a lot of clients right now at the current moment that want everything done yesterday. And we're finding that when we're ready to go and we've hustled through and we've whipped out a huge presentation of an entire house in literally 6 weeks to get to them, as soon as it comes time to pull the trigger, all of a sudden the feet are dragging, but yet they want to start construction. And it just doesn't work like that. And it's been a bit of a challenge to try and actually, like you said, educate these clients in the sense of saying, like, let's say you decide, okay, I have presented plaster to you, but you now all of a sudden don't know if you want the plaster artist. But however, we've already sent the paint schedule and our contractor's doing the painting and the electrical, yet all the electrical hasn't even been confirmed yet, but you don't want to stop construction. you might incur some additional fees there, because if you all of a sudden decide that you don't want to go with that lighting plan that we've now done and lighting's going to change, guess what? Now all of those spots have to change with our contractor. That's a fee right there for him. And then if you decide that you don't want to do the plaster anymore and now you want to paint everywhere, well, maybe now all the painting is going to change. Maybe we've changed the color. So now that's another fee. I mean, it's made life a little challenging at the firm when things aren't
Currently, as of today,
are not as smooth in terms of the process. Like I said, and like you said, designing is like one thing, but the process and the execution and the management is like a whole nother beast. And you're also working then with other vendors. So it's not just our firm together figuring it all out, but we're trying to figure it out with
the mill worker,
Yes.
the plaster artists, the stone people, the flooring guys. Like, it's a lot of conversation, a lot of communication, I mean, we've talked about this before with like having our schedules. We're doing everything we can. Whether or not the vendors are reading them is a whole nother thing. So,
but yeah, no, clients, I know that it's
Barrett's
got
like, I need
I
to
do.
for that one.
It's been a challenge.
I
Like,
know.
again, like I said it 10 times before. They're spending a lot of money. I get it. This is a luxury business. Clients at this level are, they have the ability to have the luxury service, which is incredible. And what a gift. Like, I wish that I could have an incredible designer. I mean, I am my own designer, but like, if I wasn't, like,
Listen,
how amazing would it be?
You have a definite 2-for-1.
I know.
I believe I do.
Cheers to
too.
that.
I know.
But
thank God.
I do have to say, like, as much as the client does trust us, and I know that they do trust us, it's almost about them trusting themselves to take the leap of faith. And I think it's really challenging, especially for, we have another person I was speaking to, and she really wants to be involved in the process. And I think she feels reward when she's involved in the process. And even though she has a designer who's designing for her and executing everything, I feel like she wants to feel a bit of like, this was me too. Like, I did part of this, which I totally understand. And I really do love when clients do get involved in that sense, because I do love the collaboration. We're such personable people, but when they do give credit properly, it's nice. We've had clients in the past that are very, connected to the process, but then they don't want to give the credit to the designer, which is a bit sad. And it's disappointing, but when you have a client who's dragging their toes and you know that they want to get everything done and you know that they trust in the process, but they just can't pull the trigger, it really is, it's tough. And you go around in circles and around in circles. And guess what happens at the end?
I know it's not something I'm doing. I know it's not. Like, this is not our first rodeo.
No.
It's literally.
It's like our 3,000th rodeo.
What it's something psychologically that's going on in the client's brain.
Yeah, it's tough.
But
that's where we become therapists.
We are between the therapy between husband and wives, or the dynamic of maybe their own contractors or whatever it is. It's always like, come to Christina and Barrett. Like,
I mean, even think about, our English country client. She's like the sweetest lady.
She's amazing.
Love her so much. She's a force. She's amazing. Like, she really, I can't say enough amazing things about her. But she really was skeptical of working with us, and definitely tried, like, in her conversations with me was, thinking of not working with us. And we had already started the project. We've already been working with her for some time. And I had 2 really difficult conversations with her, which I thought would be ending in like a separation. However, at the end, with playing therapist, I reassured her that in the end, we would get there. We would get to the end goal with her, even if it is so outside the box for us. Our entire team will work endlessly to make sure that the end result is for her and it's not for us.
Right.
I
mean, it's really all about, again, goes back to trust. And some people just don't realize that you don't have to hire a designer because of their personal style, or a lot of designers only have one style.
Yeah.
And when looking at our portfolio and our Instagram and our website, you could see that we don't have just the one style. We have many different ones. And maybe that one style is not showcased on our Instagram or website.
Yeah, right.
So that gets tricky with the client that does have that style, and then they're second guessing.
Right. Like we've had a lot of potential clients recently like reach out wanting to see X, Y, and Z style that we've actually done, but we just haven't photographed them. So to that point, it is tough. And also to the point of personal style too. Like I've had a lot of these prelim calls where people will say like, well, but you know, your personal style, or what is your personal style? And it's like, but it doesn't matter what my personal style is. I've also had clients that have come to us for our personal styles, but like it doesn't matter what if you're a real good designer, you understand what your client wants and what they need, and then you execute that. But as a good client, you need to truly, truly, truly close the eyes at some point and give it up to your design team. That's why you hired them. That's why when I have this call with you at the end of the day, you leave that call feeling secured, feeling heard, and saying, I want to work with this designer. I know that they're going to do the right job. I know they're going to execute it right. And it doesn't mean that we're perfect. It doesn't mean that everything's going to go smoothly. It doesn't mean that what we estimated is going to be the right budget. Like you just know at the end of the day that we have the heart in the project and we're going to see it through to the end until we know that we can leave it and you're happy and that's it. So clients, don't drag the toes. Don't drag the toes. Like if you want things done yesterday, then you need to get things done yesterday too. That's it. Make your decisions. Let's move forward.
It's all about click and pay.
Yeah, and trust. Like,
guys,
you gotta trust.
You love the designs. What's the holdup? Yeah, it's all about trust. It's all about trust. And again, they are spending a lot of clients. You guys are spending a lot of money. We get it. And you have literally waited probably a significant amount of time to actually pull the trigger. So now you're pulling the trigger. Now you love the designs. Now it's time to pay. Now it's time for us to execute. And you're going to be happy.
I think speaking of paying, I think another thing that I've been seeing a lot with potential clients is for some reason right now, when we're doing these prelim calls and we're updating our contracts and changing things to be accommodating and going back and forth and having lots of conversations with, you know, potential clients that we would love to work with because we're at that level where we actually can choose what we want to do and what we want to work.
You're cool, you're not cool, you're cool.
But we are, and I've said this recently to a few of these prelim calls, like we are at a point in our career where we're very fortunate that we've worked this hard to get to a point where we can kind of say no to a client if we don't want to work with them, and we say yes to a client if we want to work with them. And that's a really good feeling. That's not a bad thing to say. That's a great thing to say. But with that said, what I have been seeing is, again, this is a luxury business. Clients are choosing designers sometimes because they're just cheaper. And I find that to be the wrong choice. Like, listen, I get a budget. I myself am on budgets. I understand that. But when you really want something and you want it done right and you want it done the way that you see it, and let's just say they say, because we get this a lot, we're the biggest fans of yours, you're our favorite designer, and then they don't work with us, it's like it's a red flag 100%, but it's also like, wait, I'm so confused. So you're coming to an industry that is a luxury business. So clearly you have the financial support to be able to hire the design firm that you want. But yet instead of choosing the one that you love and totally is your style,
and totally vibing
with, like could be best friends, you go with Southwest Airlines.
No, Spirit.
Oh yeah, I always get that wrong. I always get it wrong every
Southwest.
single time.
I don't actually think you ever flew Southwest either. There's no reason for you. This is like a New England thing too.
What is Southwest?
Southwest. Like a lot of people fly
really?
Southwest. Yes.
So I have flown Spirit though. The taxi, the taxi, the air taxi. I have flown that many times.
So Spirit, yes, you pay like a very cheap price, whatever it is.
But then in the end, you're at the same price.
Adding. You add a bag. You add a carry-on.
You can't even get water.
Yeah, then
but that's what I'm trying to say.
After 9 hours.
I feel like people don't actually realize that in the end, you're paying the same price as if you were flying first class on American. But it's frustrating.
And here's the deal. The thing is, like, our prices don't change. It's what you see is what you get. There's the other.
No. Hold on.
When they sign on with us.
I was gonna say because our pricing has obviously changed
according to the economical.
And also our growth of our firm and everything.
Well, yes, but like once you have a price, that's a price. Unless you go over like, I mean, I don't even think we have in our contract like
we're too nice.
Plus 2 years for a furniture job, 3 years, 4 years. We love the client. We're like, okay, here you go. Like,
right.
add more. But again, like we just want the client to be happy in the end, and it's just like we're not looking to gauge your eyeballs out or gouge your eyeballs out for that extra $5,000 that we truly deserve.
No, it's true. But I do, like, if you are a potential client out there, even if you're not coming to us, like, find the designer that you really want to work with and understanding what that process means and what that price means and being respectful for that, just like the designer should be respecting your budget, your wants, and your needs. This is a two-way path, and together it makes the best team. When you don't have both parties aligned, that's where the shift is like this, which you don't want. And I see that a lot. And we get people that call us years later and they say, I should have hired you. I should have done that.
And can you like help us because our designer really effed up?
Yeah, and it's a no.
And sometimes we're like, all right, we feel bad for you.
No, not anymore. I mean, we feel bad. You can have empathy, but also be stern. Like, it's a no.
Yeah.
Just no. It sucks. Sucks for everybody. And it's a lot of time. These calls that I take that are prelim phone calls, like, they can be out an hour long.
Now there's a lot like turning into Zooms, which I'm multiple. Yeah. I'm like,
they keep wanting to Zoom
do I
with
have
me.
To step in here because,
and I have no makeup on, and I definitely look scary. I'm like, please don't judge the mug today. I was not ready for the Zoom, but yeah, a lot of Zooms, FaceTimes, like,
which I'm like,
that's a new thing.
The beauty, yeah, it is, and the beauty of like, obviously with Instagram, like everyone knows who.
No, they don't. They call me Christina.
Well, besides that. I don't know how they're calling you Christina. It's like so funny. But I mean, that's where they see like, you know, they're following us on Instagram and it's like they see the personality.
Yeah, I know.
You can have a conversation.
They've seen me in my bathing suits.
Barrett will have a conversation. She'll be like literally in the shower. I'm like, what's that noise? Pitter patter. And I'm like, oh, she's in the shower.
I'll have a conversation anywhere.
She will.
Listen,
literally.
Business is business. You got to keep the ducats coming. That's it. So with that said, we will be having another episode coming near you. This one, though, I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It is a full surprise because we're still figuring it out. That's what it is. Just like we do everything every day.
And it's our last one of the season.
Figuring it out. Last one of the season. But so then stay tuned.
Supplies.
Season 2 is coming. What'd you say?
Supplies.
Supplies or surprise?
Yeah. No, you've obviously don't know that joke.
No, what is it?
It's like this stupid thing where they're like, oh, instead of saying like surprise, the cartoon's like supplies.
Oh, yeah, I don't know that one. I don't know.
Anyway, we won't even get into it.
But surprise for the next episode. And yes, like Christina said, that will be closing out season 1, but season 2 will be coming, and we'll have some guests on that one.
Yes, we'll have guests, but also like, what do you guys, after all 15 episodes, what do you guys want to hear? We are an open book.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. We will. We will tell you anything. So, like I said, in every episode this season, like us, follow us, tell your friends, keep watching Seat for Every Ass. We love you guys. This is so fun for us. So. Yeah. All right, stay tuned.